back with another tier list. We're going over the Frost Epic Heroes. We did the Flame Epic Heroes a couple days ago, so I'll put that up on the screen and you guys can go check that out if you want. We've got them all with pictures. Look at that. Little pictures next to them where they really excel in. Plus, we got their captain abilities, and then we've got notes about what their skills are. And we did the same thing for Frost down here, but instead of me going immediately in here and you just seeing this, let's go back to the heroes and talk about them a bit from here. A lot of Frost heroes play off the Frost debuff. They either give Frost debuff to the enemy or they take advantage of Frost debuff being up on the enemy. Dork does this, Vamir does this, Rowena does it, Rava puts up a lot of Frost debuffs so that we can take advantage of it with other heroes. And then Olgin is a melee one that runs up, puts up a lot of Frost debuffs, and also gives 25% additional attack to all Frost allies. Then we've got Varesh. If you don't know about Varesh, I mean, you should by now. This guy doesn't deal with Frost, but if you have him, he's SS class. This guy is worth playing. You don't even need to book him because he has 3 chances here to dispel a debuff. If you book it, it just goes up to a 60% chance. This one hits everybody on the board 3 times and then has a chance to put up buff blocks, debuff up on the enemy, which is a really good 1-2 punch if you have Sigrid in Arena or just Sigrid on your team. So this guy fires off. It doesn't matter where he's at, the whole entire board, everybody gets hit, and then Sigrid just launches and hits everybody else. But the reason why Varesh is so amazing is because he's healing everybody for all the damage he does. He's healing your whole entire team. It's like having a healing battery along with a main DPSer. When I was playing on the test server, I played this guy in every single dungeon I went into. He's that strong. So of course, if you don't know about Varesh, play him. If you got him on your roster, play this guy. He's got amazing skills. He can hit the whole entire board, and all he does the whole entire time while he's doing damage is he heals your team. It's crazy. Doll Bomb can tank really, really well. This guy's got a cool resistance lead in Arena. If you need this, it's not bad to have at all, actually, with all those debuffs flying off. And he has the ability to stay alive when he gets down to where he would die, right? Fatal damage, he gets this on him, and he really seems very tanky. Anytime I come up against this guy just seems immensely tanky. His skills don't look that crazy here, but this is nice. He gets to hit the whole entire board and put blind up on people. Blind just makes it so their basic attacks don't hit, but that's a lot of damage. It's only for 5 seconds, but it seems like a lot of Frost guys, just in general for the epics in Frost, aren't for bosses. Like there's no real boss killer in here. They're mainly for going through Goblin, doing AoE damage, getting a lot of damage if we're going through the Fey Meander, setting up some combos in there, if we're going through story mode, and then going through the tower, which is good because we have rare teams to cover all the dungeons now. If you haven't seen my videos on all the rares and common teams to cover all the dungeons, all the way up to get legendary gear, go back and look through all the videos I've done since global release. That's the last 15 days. So we've got those covered. So now it's fun because we can focus on Arena and we can focus on all those other game modes to where we're fighting like big batch of heroes. You know, if you've been up in the Fey Wild, Fey Meander now it's called, going up floor to floor, it gets hard. But it's fun, and these heroes that can throw out a whole bunch of debuffs do damage off of that, and then also, you know, whatever other special abilities they have, it's cool to have these in here. Let's jump over to Elvis. He's another tank that is very unique. Nothing to do with Frost, but he does have the recharge speed penalty. And if you know me, I'm all about recharge speed penalty. I did a dedicated video on talking about him and all the other people like Adri that's rare that does this on the bosses, which makes them very slow, makes their meter go across super slow. Anywhere, honestly, anywhere. This guy is insane. He's great. He's really S tier. Where Varesh is SS tier, that guy is S tier. And you'll see that on the list and you'll see why and all the description there. But it's all about that recharging speed penalty that he does on his passive whenever he does damage. So he just keeps reapplying it. Watch that video that I did before on him and all the other ones, and I did a tier list for them. Like anybody in the game that has recharging speed penalty, I did a tier list for all of them. This guy just keeps reapplying it. He hits, reapply all the time. And then here, once he has this up, whenever he's attacked, he does damage back to them, and he can reapply this as well to keep it up more than anybody else in the game. So it's really special for him to do that, and it makes it a lot of fun, and it makes it really easy to take down these bosses. Paru is not one of my favorite guys in the game because he's variable with landing these debuffs. He does 3 hits. He's got a 75% chance to apply one of these debuffs. So maybe you could get 3 debuffs up. Maybe they're the 3 or 1 that you want. But when I go into an encounter, I want a specific debuff up on a boss. Like if I need to survive, I need a decrease attack 2 up when the boss gets ready to do its ultimate. And I need recharge speed penalty up. But I don't necessarily need these other ones, and I might not get it. It's a mixed bag, right? So I can't rely on this guy to take care of me. That's why I don't like him. That's why I would never level him up myself and play him. He can freeze somebody here. This is an actual frozen for 3 seconds where they can't do anything. All in all, I'm really not a fan of this Paru. I think I have him rated as, what do we have for Paru? We've got him rated as A. Not terrible, but just not on cue with what I'm going to need. You can see all these other heroes. We got SS for Varesh. We have Elvis with S. Then we've got A+, because to me, they're much more effective. Guardis up here, this dwarf is actually really good. Not only does he have an amazing resistance lead that we can take in anywhere, we can take him in against Ravatrix and the Fey Meander, the one that gives us all those poisons to really help us resist that. By the way, a lot of people have been asking about her. You got to not take poisons. She gets a permanent damage increase whenever your team takes poisons. And once that gets so high, you're dead. You got to go in there and you actually have to resist poisons or block them. You can't just go and tank it out. Otherwise, over time, you're just going to die. You can't just like remove them either. You got to make sure they don't land. This guy gives you a resistance lead to help out with that, because as we face her every 10 floors in Fey Meander, we need more and more resistance. And this helps out. And him going through Fey Meander and the trials, the 60 floor of the trials, story mode, PvP, this shot right here is so much fun. He knocks everybody to the back of the screen, right? Knock up and knock back, and then stuns them for 3 seconds, and then gives them the recharging speed penalty to where their meter to get their ultimate is going up slow. I mean, you can't beat that. That's a lot of things on here. Unfortunately, the recharging speed penalty is only for 5 seconds. The people that I like to rely on for actual bosses do it for 10 seconds every 20 seconds. But still, this guy is really fun to play. I think he's very, very strong. We get decreased attack here on this ability. And then here he's got this wherever he gets a debuff, he has a chance to not take it. And then he gets an ultimate energy gauge increase of 25%, which is really huge. Guardis is tons of fun, very strong. Think about leveling him up. You don't have to right now. Get the dungeons locked down. You can use him in your goblin team if you want to, but get your goblin team locked down. And then after that, then we're going to focus on Fey Meander and the trials. Leander is very cool. I don't have this guy. I talked to people on Discord about him, but check this out. Whenever an enemy dies, this hero gains ultimate energy, his full ultimate energy. So you pop some people with this 3x3 square, somebody dies, you pop somebody else again with this ultimate. That is insane. I wish I had him. I really, really, really wish I had this guy. I would love to go into the Goblin. I would love to do it in PvP. I don't know, anywhere else. I keep talking about Fey Meander and all these other areas because the trials in Fey Meander are really what it's about right now with getting through story mode, because again, we've got all those other dungeons locked down with our rares. It's easy to do all those. We're going to be doing, we're doing legendary gear with all that. So no need to worry about those anymore. Now we can do some fun heroes and just have some fun in the game. And this guy seems insanely fun that we can pop somebody. If somebody dies, it doesn't even have to be him killing them. It's kind of like Sigrid, right? If somebody dies with a debuff up, Sigrid gets that 25% ultimate gauge. Well, this guy just gets a whole ultimate gauge. I don't remember everything this guy does, but if I look on my list here, he attacks somebody with his passive if they're stealth. If they're invisible, right, he'll attack them with his passive. He'll heal one ally with his battle skill and then give them hit recovery. And then he does a 3x3 attack of 320% damage 2 times, so 640. And then he's got a 50% chance on each of those hits to lower the ultimate gauge by 30%. That's strong, right? If you can lower an ultimate gauge by 60%, that would be pretty insane. He's got a chance to do that, but overall, his abilities, I'm not really big on this guy. I got him at A+. Honestly, I feel like he's an A right now, unless you're going up against people that are stealthing a lot. And even then, I'm not sure that he's that great, because people that stealth, we can just do AoE and still hit them. He can knock them out of stealth with his passive, heal somebody on our team, and then do a 3x3 and lower ultimate. But I don't think that's that great compared to a lot of other heroes. At least he's got a 40 accuracy lead. That's pretty decent. Now to the Frost heroes. We have Dork, Vamir, Rowena, Rava, and Olgin. And I feel like she's kind of the weakest out of all of them. Because I thought at first she was going to do really well when somebody had Frost on. Like hit insanely hard. And people say she hits hard because she ignores 20% defense. And when there's a Frost debuff up on the enemy, she'll do 840 attack. Now, originally, I was hoping she'd do 600 plus 840. But I tested this, and it's not that way. Actually, somebody else tested it for me on stream and showed me the numbers of with Frost and without Frost. And unfortunately, without Frost, you do 600. With Frost, you do 840. It would have been really cool if she was more like Usha, who doubles up on the damage, right? Usha does 1,600 total. So this girl wouldn't even do as much as Usha. So I'm kind of sad that she just doesn't do both of these. And this move, single target, she has a chance to apply Frost, hits the enemy with the lowest HP. So that's kind of interesting that she'll hit somebody with the lowest HP. If there's somebody in the back line that's pretty fragile, she'll take them out. But all in all, I just don't feel like this is something I really need. Like, I don't want to bring her in Goblin for some really good Frost AoE team. I feel like there's a lot better options for that. And I don't know. I just don't know where else I would use her. I don't think she's pulling the numbers I want, even with Frost up and even with ignoring 20% defense. But you guys let me know if I'm wrong, because I do know that there are people that really like using her. So that leaves us with Dork, Vamir, Rava, and Olgin. Olgin's really cool. We could put him in the front line, have him run forward. Everybody around him right here is going to get Frost. I like that he buffs everybody that's a Frost ally with 25% additional attack and does a big attack around him. And then we have an accuracy lead. So all in all, I think he's pretty decent. Really nice in a Goblin team, running forward and supporting the rest of us. Rava. I really like Rava. I've got her leveled up on my account all the way up to 100 almost, and she's killing it. She's doing amazing damage. In Goblin, she's doing amazing damage on even the Vortex boss, which is really wild. She does this Vortex here that just keeps trying to apply Frost, which is really good for us because I need her to apply Frost for my Vamir so that he can bounce a little ball around and do these micro explosions everywhere, which does crazy amount of damage in the Goblin Cave. And this move does a lot of damage too, because if they stay in it and it's pretty big, everybody just keeps being hit. And then when it expires, it explodes for 400 attack. So all in all, this move is very strong. She's got critical damage lead if we have enough crit on our team to take advantage of this. Each enemy with Frost in the field, she gets this attack increase, stacking up to 3 times. And then here she'll throw 3 orbs, which 3 orbs on a battle skill, this is good damage, with a chance to apply Frost each time to one enemy. So I really like this girl. Anybody that's got a Frost team and can set this up properly and make sure that everybody, like the enemies, are always in this vortex here, you got the Frost made, because she'll just keep reapplying Frost over and over, which is great for Vamir because this guy is only good. He's really good if there are targets to bounce off of, and exceptionally good if there are targets to bounce off of with a Frost debuff on. I'll play you a little clip and you can see what kind of damage he does. He throws out the ice ball, bounces between enemies, does great damage, but insane damage if there's a Frost debuff. He removes that Frost debuff, and then he does these little explosions. These explosions hit everybody around. So if there's 3 guys with a Frost debuff on near each other, they're all being hit by these big explosions that are going on when he removes it, plus they're being hit when they're bouncing back and forth. It's really wild. It can get frustrating, though, if he's only hitting a single target. Like against a single target, this guy is garbage. No good damage at all. And I really don't like this cross section. I wish it was a 3x3, but it's what we got. He does get this attack increase and this ultimate recharge when somebody dies, so that's nice as well. He's got a pretty good kit. I like this attack increase. I use this more than anything else because it's reliable. Now this guy also does Frost. He's got a 3x3. He's got another big diamond shaped one here, and he gets 15% increase attack if they have Frost up. That's it. I mean, he does basic on his Frost too at times, and then this little additional derivative Frost damage. I like him. Don't get me wrong. I like this guy. He's got 2 AoEs. You can't beat an epic with 2 AoEs that applies Frost and then gives himself this attack up on Frost. I just always feel like when I'm playing Dork that there's always somebody else I could use in place of him. I feel like I I could pull another Frost person and put him in place of this guy. On a Frost heavy team where we do need Frost, this guy's going to help us out. Like if we don't have Rava, if you don't have her just applying Frost over and over and over again, yeah, play this guy. But if you got Rava, it's way better to play her everywhere than to play him. Dork as an A tier. We've got Vamir is A+, which really, if Vamire's set up properly, if there are enemies out there, multiple of them with the Frost debuff up, this guy is definitely S tier. But on the other side of that, if there's only one enemy and he fires it off stupidly, which he does a lot, hits one, then it's like B tier. So we'll put him at A+. Solvalis, we changed him from A+ to A, and I think he needs to be at A. I just don't see a lot of uses for this guy. I don't see a lot of people stealthed out there, and even if they are stealth, I can take care of them. I don't need him to use his passive to do that, to hit somebody in stealth, but maybe somewhere this guy could be really clutch. But for now, overall total usage, I just don't see it being that great. Leander, I don't have him, but I talk to people who have him in that ability, right? With the recharge speed penalty and then his ability to get his ultimate gauge all the way back when somebody dies and use his ultimate over and over and over when someone dies. It's pretty sweet, so I put him at S tier. Guardis is the dwarf that knocks everybody all the way back, recharge speed, stun. He also has decreased attack. This guy is fun and he's good, and if you have him, plus with that resistance lead, make sure you start playing him. You're going to really, really enjoy this guy. I'm sorry to all the Rowena lovers out there. If she's really good, let me know, but I don't see it. Doll Bomb is a great tank. He can hit the whole entire board, do damage, blind everyone, so you're not taking as much damage from their basic abilities. He can really self-sustain for a while and keep himself up. He's not the best tank in the world. He's not even the best PvP or PvE tank in the world, but as far as ice goes, I think he's pretty decent. He really is solid. He's strong. He stays there. And then if he does take fatal damage, he'll keep himself alive for a little while. He doesn't really have anything else extremely useful, and you're not going to use him against any boss in the game. We've got Rava over here. I could put her at S tier for what she does, and her job is to apply Frost and do damage. And she does both of those really, really well. Paru, you know how I feel about him with those variable debuffs. He's doing 3 hits. You don't know what you're going to get. I just can't rely on that. So I put that guy as an A. Olgan, A+ for what he's doing, right? Giving everybody in the Frost team that 25% additional attack, putting Frost up on the enemy, but it's all localized to just around him. So I don't like that. They have to run up all into him. And we don't always have melee. You know, range stays at range. Melee comes in. A lot of times it's just like 2 melee when we go in a battle that will be around him. So I really don't know how effective that is. But with him giving that additional attack to the team, that's pretty good support. And the accuracy lead is really good as well. Varesh, right? It's Varesh. We got SS class. What can I say? You know, the guy's just doing crazy damage. He's removing buffs. He's blocking buffs from being applied on the enemy. And he hits the whole entire board and heals your whole entire team. It's ridiculous. Play him. If you haven't played Elvis and you don't believe in recharge speed penalty, take him up a few levels. Don't take him up all the way. He'll be fine. He's a tank. Load him up with a lot of defense. Give him some accuracy, though, because he has to have accuracy to apply this debuff, and watch him just keep applying the debuff. That recharge speed penalty over and over on a boss is insane. It's really, really broken. And you'll be able to do everything you need to do against that boss, get back to all your skills, control that boss, and it'll make the fight so much easier. That's the Frost tier list, guys. Let me know your thoughts on any of these heroes down below. Tomorrow will be the Necrosis epic tier list. We'll get that all on here and we'll talk about those. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I appreciate your time. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you all in a video soon.